Most people believe a garden needs open sky and wide soil to actually feed anyone. But what's actually true is rarely explained. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Because this connects to something much bigger than gardening. This isn't often discussed, but the belief that food growing requires land is a fairly recent idea. For most of human history, food was grown in the margins. A windowsill, a doorway, a shaded corner between buildings, a step that never saw more than 3 hours of direct light. Somewhere along the way, that knowledge quietly disappeared, replaced by the assumption that food comes from somewhere else, somewhere bigger. And this is where the real problem begins. Most people think shade is a limitation, something to work around, apologize for, or give up on entirely. A shaded balcony gets used for storage. A north-facing step gets ignored. A windowsill that only catches morning light gets written off before anything is even tried. The assumption is simple. No full sun, no food. But what's actually happening is different. A surprising number of vegetables don't just tolerate shade, they perform better in it. Heat stresses certain plants into bitterness, early flowering, and tough, fibrous leaves. Reduced light, paired with the right container and consistent moisture, can produce a longer, steadier harvest than full sun ever would. This isn't a workaround for people without a proper garden. For a specific set of crops, shade is the better condition, not the lesser one. Why did this get lost? Convenience is part of it. Large-scale agriculture is built around full-sun monocultures, because that's what scales, ships, and stores predictably. The crops bred for supermarket shelves are bred for sun tolerance, uniform size, and long shelf life, not for a 6-inch pot on a shaded step. Somewhere in that shift, an entire category of shade-adapted, container-suited food knowledge got quietly left behind, treated as a hobbyist footnote instead of a practical, transferable skill. The consequence isn't dramatic, it's quiet. It's the person who assumes they can't grow anything because their apartment doesn't get direct light. It's the wasted balcony, the empty windowsill, the small monthly grocery cost that never gets reduced because the option was never presented as real in the first place. Nobody told them the plants were waiting on the wrong assumption, not the wrong space. Here's what this likely means. The space most people already have is more productive than they've been led to believe. 25 vegetables and herbs make that case in very specific, very usable detail. And not theory. Exact numbers, exact containers, exact reasons, each one works the way it does. 1. Leaf lettuce. Most people assume lettuce is fragile. It isn't. It's just shallow-rooted, which is exactly why it adapts so easily to small containers. Black-seeded Simpson performs reliably across most climate zones. When sow a 1/4 inch deep, 4 inches apart, and in about 45 days the leaves are ready. Snip the outer leaves instead of pulling the whole plant, and the center keeps producing for weeks. This single habit, cutting instead of pulling, is the difference between one harvest and a dozen. 2. Spinach. In full sun, spinach bolts fast and turns bitter almost overnight. In partial shade, that process slows considerably, and the leaves stay tender for longer. Bloomsdale Longstanding is the variety worth trusting. A pot 6 inches deep is enough, since spinach doesn't root deeply. Seeds go in a 1/2 inch deep, 3 inches apart. Baby leaves are ready in 25 days. Full leaves in about 45. 3. Swiss chard. This is the plant that keeps going after most others quit. Bright lights is the variety most people underestimate, until it produces color and food for months at a time. It needs about 8 inches of depth, seeds a 1/2 inch deep, thin to 6 inches apart. Harvest the outer leaves only, and the plant keeps regenerating from the center almost indefinitely. 4. Arugula. Full sun pushes arugula's flavor from peppery into sharply bitter. Shade keeps it milder and more balanced. Astro is the dependable variety for containers. Scatter seeds on the surface, cover with 1/8 of an inch of soil, and expect germination within a week. First harvest comes in about 3 weeks, with repeat sowings every 2 to 3 weeks after that. 5. Green onions. These tolerate more neglect than almost anything else on this list, which makes them a low-risk starting point. Evergreen hardy white survives in low light with minimal care. A 4-inch container is enough depth. Snip the tops, leave an inch of growth at the base, and the plant regrows without needing to be replanted. And this is the part most people miss early on. These first 5 aren't the exception. They're the baseline. Almost any leafy green behaves this way once light is reduced, rather than removed entirely. The pattern only gets more interesting from here. 6. Bok choy. Toi choy is a compact variety built specifically for small containers, and it actually prefers cooler, shaded conditions over harsh, direct sun. 6 inches of depth is enough. Baby leaves are ready in 30 days, full heads in about 45. 7. Kale. One of the more overlooked shade performers on this entire list. Dwarf blue curled stays compact in an 8 to 12-inch container. What most people don't realize is that a light frost converts stored starches into sugar within the leaf, which is why kale grown into cooler weather tastes noticeably sweeter than kale grown through peak summer heat. A single plant can keep producing for 6 months or longer. 8. Mint. Mint spreads aggressively and invasively in open ground, which is exactly why a container is the correct choice for it, not a compromise. Spearmint handles partial shade well. Too much direct sun actually intensifies the oils past the point of pleasant flavor, so shade is doing this plant a favor. 9. Parsley. Italian flat leaf holds its flavor better in cooking than curly types, and it tolerates as little as 3 to 4 hours of light without issue. It develops a longer taproot than most herbs, so give it 8 to 10 inches of depth. Germination takes patience, sometimes up to 3 weeks, but the payoff is months of steady, low-maintenance harvest. 10. Cilantro. In full sun, cilantro bolts almost immediately, producing flowers before there's much to harvest. In shade, that window stretches considerably longer. Slow bolt is bred specifically to resist that early flowering, and once it does eventually bolt, the flowers produce coriander seed, a second harvest from the exact same planting, at no extra cost. This connects to something deeper than any single plant. Every item so far shares one quiet detail, the trait that makes it fail in full sun. Fast bolting, bitterness, stress, is the same trait that makes it thrive in reduced light. Shade isn't compensating for a weakness. In these cases, it's removing the exact condition the plant was struggling against. 11. Thyme. This one needs less water than most people expect, and more shade tolerance than most people assume. Lemon thyme stays compact and actually grows more densely in partial shade than in full sun. Drainage matters here more than sunlight does. A container with excellent drainage will outperform one with more light and poor drainage every time. 12. Chives. Reliable across a wide range of light conditions, which makes it a forgiving choice for a first attempt. A 6-inch pot is sufficient. The purple flowers that appear in late spring are edible, and removing them before they set seed keeps the plant's energy focused on leaf production instead. 13. Radishes. The fastest result on this entire list. Cherry bell matures in as little as 22 days from seed. Shade actually helps here. It keeps the surrounding soil cooler, which prevents the pithy, overly sharp texture that develops when radishes mature too quickly under direct heat. 14. Alpine strawberries. Most people assume strawberries require full sun and open garden beds. Alpine varieties don't send out runners the way standard strawberries do, which naturally suits them to containers, and they tolerate considerably more shade than commercial varieties. They also fruit continuously through the season instead of producing one large flush and stopping. 15. Dwarf peas. Little Marvel stays under 2 feet tall, which removes the need for elaborate trellising in a small space. Peas actually prefer the cooler conditions shade provides over harsh summer heat, and because they fix their own nitrogen from the air, they require noticeably less feeding than most other container crops. Here's what this likely means. 16 items in. This isn't a list of rare exceptions carefully hunted down to prove a point. It's most of a standard vegetable garden, simply reorganized around a different assumption about light. 16. Bush beans. Provider tolerates cooler soil and light shade better than most bean varieties on the market. It matures in around 50 days, and, with regular picking, keeps producing new pods for several additional weeks. 17. Broccoli rab. Faster to mature than standard broccoli, and genuinely better suited to shaded conditions. Rapini spring rab is ready in 40 to 60 days. Full sun pushes it toward bitterness quickly, while partial shade extends the usable harvest window considerably. 18. Mustard greens. Southern giant curled, grows vigorously in partial shade. Full sun intensifies the natural heat in the leaves, to a level many people find uncomfortable. Shade produces a milder, more versatile green, suited to both raw and cooked use. 19. Beets. 2 harvests from a single planting, the greens early on, the root later in the season. Detroit dark red is the dependable standard variety. The greens tolerate shade well, though root development slows slightly without full sun. For most home growers, that trade-off is worth accepting in exchange for a longer, steadier harvest window overall. 20. Carrots. Parisian round varieties are bred specifically for shallow containers and stay small and tender by design. Shade slows their growth rate, but it also allows sugars to develop more gradually within the root, which several growers report produces a noticeably sweeter result at harvest. This is not the first time this kind of shift has happened. The same underlying pattern, a household skill quietly reclassified as impractical, then replaced by an industrial version of itself, shows up in how bread, dairy, and preserved food moved out of the home and into factories across roughly the same stretch of decades. The plants didn't change. The explanation around them did. 21. Mizuna. A Japanese green that performs well in conditions that stress most salad crops into failure. It tolerates both heat and cold more evenly than lettuce, which extends its usable growing season on both ends of the year. 22. Cherry tomatoes. The one exception on this list that still needs meaningful light, at least 4 to 5 hours daily. Tiny Tim is a dwarf variety bred specifically for small containers and partial shade patios. Morning sun, paired with afternoon shade, tends to be the ideal balance for this one. 23. Tatsoi. This plant doesn't just tolerate shade, it prefers it, and genuinely struggles in hot, direct sun, often bolting within days. The rosette shape holds up well in stir-fries, and cutting the entire rosette an inch above the soil line often produces a full second harvest from the same root. 24. Celery. Widely considered difficult in open ground, but a shaded container naturally provides the consistent moisture and cooler conditions celery actually requires to stay tender. It originated as a marsh plant. Shade isn't a compromise for celery. It's closer to the plant's original environment than a sunny open bed ever was. 25. Dwarf blueberries. The one most people never consider for a container at all. Top hat stays under 2 feet tall and tolerates partial shade better than standard blueberry bushes. It needs acidic soil and takes 2 to 3 years to reach full production. A longer timeline than everything else on this list, but a perennial harvest afterward, returning year after year from a single pot with minimal ongoing effort. And this is the part most people miss by the end of a list like this. None of these 25 plants are unusual. They're common vegetables and herbs, already familiar, already sitting in seed racks at any garden center. The only thing that actually changed is the assumption attached to them, the quiet, unexamined belief that they need conditions most small spaces simply don't have. What to look for, practically? A container with real depth, rather than a shallow decorative pot, since root depth is usually the limiting factor, not light. A location that gets at least some indirect light for part of the day, even if it's never direct sun. And consistent moisture, since shaded soil dries more slowly, but shaded plants are often more sensitive to being allowed to dry out completely between waterings. What to reconsider? The instinct to write off a space before testing it. A single pot of lettuce or chard is enough to see whether the pattern holds in your specific conditions before expanding into anything larger. This doesn't require a plan, a system, or a commitment to self-sufficiency as an identity. It requires one container and about 6 weeks. This reflects a broader shift, not just a gardening one. The idea that food production requires scale, more land, more sun, more equipment, more expertise, isn't really about plants at all. It's a pattern that shows up in how food itself was reorganized over the last century, centralized, standardized, and moved further from the household toward industrial systems built for volume rather than for the specific conditions of an actual home. A shaded step or a 6-inch pot was never designed to fit that system. That doesn't mean it doesn't work. It means it was left out of the explanation somewhere along the way, and most people never notice the omission. Because this same pattern, convenience quietly replacing capability, scale quietly replacing skill, appears in far more than gardening. And once it's visible here, in something as small as a shaded pot on a step, it becomes considerably easier to notice everywhere else it's been repeating. This is part of a series looking at the everyday things that changed quietly, and why that matters more than it first appears. If any part of this connected something for you, that's the point of it. Not entertainment, just a clearer picture of what's already sitting in your own space, waiting on a different assumption than the one you were given. And the next one is even harder to ignore once you understand this.